gotta go through so many different iterations. So I'm gonna look at, we gotta move all the wires. He shielded, make this shield, custom dap the shield, custom make this PC box, because it was over here. Yeah. So, cool. Oh, nice. Oh, come on. Steering wash. Oh, fuck it. Okay.
Okay, roll it. Let's go for a little more. Ready? Off the brake.
Yep.
Yep. Keep going. Wait, I can't. I can't. I am pushing. Yeah. You're not doing. Dog. It's a perfect day to try that.
Perfect day. Perfect day. Perfect conditions.
Perfect conditions.
There she goes. All right, I hope you make some good power. Woo.
What up? I'm here in Livermore, California. Just arrived at TurboHoses to pick up my car sitting over there in the docks, as you can see. Just took a nap. Dana's over here behind the phone.
What up?
What up, yo? Thanks for giving me a ride. Just got off of work. What time is it? It's a Monday at like what, 7 p.m. or
Something like that, yep.
Yeah, I got some butterflies in my stomach right now, man. My car is actually all done. And let's go check it out. Let's go walk over, huh? What do you think?
Pretty dope over there.
A lot of mixed emotions. It's kind of crazy.
Mix them up, man.
Mix them up, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Keep them mixed.
Ooh, looking pretty good, huh? The line's all set.
Back to the future, man.
Back to the future.
The future is now. The future is now.
In. Apparently this is a working car. So yeah, yo, check it out. I'm at my car right now. I'm picking it up. It's a very momentous occasion right now. I'm a little bit nervous, like I said. I'm not really ready to get into this thing. I don't want to start it, to be honest.
Don't do it.
Let's just go home.
All right.
Ain't gonna do it right now.
All right, we'll come.
I'm not ready.
We'll come back to Livermore another time.
Pick it up another time. I'm not ready right now.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, so because it's a late night pickup, and obviously I can't come here during business hours, TurboHoses was kind enough to hide and stash a key in that big ass truck over here. So let's go find it.
Nice. What an adventure.
Check out this dog. Got a dog with us today.
Yeah.
This is the TurboHoses King Ranch F650 or something. This is gigantic. But I think the key is in here. Zoom in on this. Come on.
That's a huge truck.
Let's get this key, I think. Oh snap. We got the goods.
Okay.
Let's go start this shit. Oh my god. Honestly, I like to kind of put things into perspective. Like I was grinding on this car, right? For 6.5 months, non-stop. I never thought the end would actually be here. And now, all of a sudden, within a week, everything's been buttoned up. It's running, it's tuned, it's drivable.
I'm honored to be here.
This
in
is
this
all
momentous
live,
moment.
all right? Is this thing still recording?
Yes.
Still going? All right, guys, this is live. This is like reality TV for you guys. I have not started this car yet, but let's just give it a shot.
Yeah, you can take my car and I'll drive this.
You want to drive this? I'll take the Prius.
Yeah.
We got another Prius, by the way. Prius action, Prius
Yeah,
gang.
dude.
Here, check out my alignment chart real quick. Ooh, man, it's weird being in the seats. Used to being like sitting on the concrete floor underneath it. We got negative 4.8 degrees of camber up front. And the pinion angle and all that stuff is done in the rear. All right, dudes, let's start it. Still recording?
Yeah, dude.
Moment of truth, here we go.
Holy shit.
That's it, it runs.
Dude. That sounds like a beast, man. That sounds like a beast.
Alright, lights work, this thing's idling. Alright, bro, let's go home.
Okay.
After we warm it up.
Oh, you have to warm it up?
It smells kind of bad, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this the first time
Wow.
you've heard it?
The first time we started, you can see in the previous video, this thing was like super lumpy.
Oh.
I thought it was really smooth.
So they fixed it.
That's what that's what all the tuning did. Major right now. All right, bro, cut that. Let's go home. Yo, what up? Alright, so I know what you guys are thinking. Why am I just standing here in the living room talking to you guys instead of where's the driving videos? But don't worry, those will come soon enough. There's definitely not going to be any shortage of that, and there's plenty of time for it. So instead, I wanted to take a moment to take a step back and recap on exactly what has transpired in the past week. Obviously, as you saw, the car is now driving, it's tuned, it's ready to go. But obviously, again, it wasn't just like a quick 1-2 was done. There's a lot of stuff that had to be done along the way to carry it over the hill. And yeah, I want to kind of recap the small details because I think, honestly, these type of details, especially when you've seen a long build process like I've been trying to share with you guys, these type of small details is what really make up, the end goal here. So hopefully this is going to be kind of insightful for you guys. I know this is the type of stuff that I personally would be interested in hearing, so don't leave just yet. But yeah, anyway, first, before we even begin, I want to give a quick shout out to TurboHoses. They're out in Livermore. Their details are in the description below if you want to check them out. But anyway, TurboHoses has for sure been extremely instrumental in getting the car driving and running again and, getting it to the point that it is. Because without them, I probably would just be, kind of sitting around and just waiting, basically. Because as I said in the previous video, I called around a whole bunch of different tune shops. And as soon as availability I got was like maybe the end of January, so I would have just been sitting. And it wasn't just the fact that they had an opening for the tune, it was that they were able to get the car in almost immediately. On top of that, obviously the car wasn't running, I couldn't drive it to them, and I don't have a truck, and they were actually able to come and pick up the car for me. As you guys saw, they came and towed the car. So thanks again to Jim, Hoover, and Joey for coming by and towing my car
2 turbo hoses and getting all that stuff done for me remotely. And if you see some red spots around my face, try to ignore it because I kind of just went through a pimple popping spree and then I said, hey, perfect time to get on video. But anyway, let's move forward and get into the nitty gritty. This is the details. So what exactly happened in the past week at Turbo Hoses? Okay, this next point is the one I really want to kind of articulate and punctuate, because when you bring your car in for a tuning session, we all know that dyno tuning is not cheap. And obviously what you're being quoted is just for the tune. And what that means is you have to have a car that is, you know, running. Basically everything works. You don't have to do any mechanical stuff to it. You can basically put on the dyno and start tuning, because everything else is going to be extra. That's not part of the tune. And that's exactly the same type of scenario that I found myself in, albeit that I was trying to be comprehensive and meticulous. There are still a lot of gaps that I did not cover. And of course that was, you know, additional stuff. And again, dyno tuning in this area is usually around, you know, $400 at a minimum. That's usually the kind of average quote that you'll probably receive. So definitely if you want to get your car tuned, make sure you're only going to have to pay for the tune. So do your best to cover all grounds, check all the boxes. So let me try to go over exactly all the different, you know, additional stuff that had to be taken care of before my car was even able to get tuned. So right off the bat, they pulled my car in, they pressure tested the radiator system, or not the radiator, the coolant system, and they found a leak. So it was like a back hose or something like that was leaking. They tightened the clamp, that was done. Even small stuff like, for example, I was too lazy to drain the 96 octane fuel out of my gas tank. There's only about like maybe 3 or 4 gallons inside of it, but I didn't get a chance to get to it. I just said, hey, I'll let Turbo Hoses handle it. And then the big stuff was really the preliminary setup work on my ITB system and the whole you know, vacuum system as well. So they had to synchronize all the throttle bodies, they had to sync up the timing, they had to clock the cam gear, and then after all that, they found out that the air bleed screws on my throttle bodies were a little bit gunked up, so they had to remove those, clean them up. And the next part actually blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. So they had to move on to the map sensor and of course the vacuum system and get that kind of, you know, going. And while they're kind of, you know, going through and debugging it, they realized that the map sensor wasn't getting a single signal reading, and that was really peculiar because everything was hooked up. So eventually they steam tested the entire vacuum system, and they found out that my vacuum block was completely sealed up and blocked off. Obviously there were, you know, like 6 ports tapped and threaded inside of it, had my barbs installed, and had vacuum lines going into it. But as it turns out, behind the threaded ports was completely sealed, like it wasn't drilled through all the way. So let's actually cut to this picture of the inside of that vacuum block to show you what I mean. You can see that it's completely, you know, blocked. So of course they had to drill that out and put that all back together, and you know, something as simple and dumb as having a manufactured part that wasn't drilled in all the way through, or just not having instructions to tell you otherwise, was of course additional stuff that you have to accommodate for. But yeah, I mean, basically the moral of the story is tuning a car, getting a car completely done and ready when you change so much stuff is not a very trivial task. There's a lot of complexities, there's a lot of, you know, interwoven intricacies that you have to accommodate for. So needless to say, there's definitely a lot more to it than what meets the eye. Definitely try to go for the 100% mark. And then what else happened? And now the car is basically ready for the tuning session, so let's talk about that. Ideally in the beginning we were trying to gun for a blend tune, which is basically an alpha N tune at idle, because throttle bars are very finicky, so most of the time they're alpha N. But we thought it would be cool to kind of utilize that map sensor and try to blend in speed density, which uses map sensors, of course. And unfortunately, the signal quality from the vacuum system to the map sensor was just too poor. I wasn't getting a very good reading. The resolution was a little bit too low. So we couldn't really go for the speed density route, and everything was basically tuned at the end with alpha N, which is okay, which is usually the most common way of tuning ITBs. And if you kind of take a look at ITBs, they have so much surface area, but they have a very small plenum size for all that, you know, intake air to basically circulate through. And this is actually a subject that I was consulting with Link ECU on, and they noted that for ITB applications in their experience, even at part throttle, the map signal, even if you do get a good map signal somehow to your map sensor, that vacuum signal tops out at part throttle. So what that means is if you blend in speed density, usually at full throttle you're going to be too rich. Alpha N is perfectly fine, and that's exactly what we went for. One thing I do want to kind of try and take another stab at is my Innovate wideband sensor, the LC2, was apparently reading like 10 points off for the AFR, so that thing was way out of whack, couldn't even use it. So basically my Alpha N tune is a open loop tune. And what that basically means is my wideband sensor is not currently being used to basically augment environmental changes. A closed loop Alpha N tune would take in the wideband readings. So maybe down the line, in the short term, I will try to figure out exactly what is wrong with the Innovate wideband sensor. Maybe it's a wiring thing, but it might just be the controller itself or something like that. And honestly, I might just switch over to the AEM wideband instead. So I'll tackle that in the future, maybe come back, convert it to closed loop and see if that makes anything better. But TurboHoses was able to utilize the Lynx internal barometric sensor in the tune. So what that thing does is basically compensates for barometric changes. So that means if you go from sea level to a higher grade or you do any type of altitude changes, it'll compensate for that. So that's a good thing to have. And yeah, the tune's great. I mean, the TurboHoses did a whole bunch of different cold starts to make sure that thing was massaged. They actually ended up bumping the idle up a tiny bit. Obviously, I only drove it once so far, so once I get more seat time, I want to do a full assessment of the car itself, how it drives, what my personal feelings are of it, how the whole package came together, what I feel about the chassis itself, what I feel about the power plant, and put all that stuff together in a contextual way, so definitely stay tuned for that video later on. And I think that's pretty much it. So hopefully the nitty-gritties of the tune was helpful. And again, thanks a lot to TurboHoses for getting me over this hill. I can't believe the car is actually driving. I'm basically very close to the end. There's still a few more small stuff that I have to take care of, which I will hopefully try to tackle this weekend. And honestly, it's a little bit sobering to finally know, in a very bittersweet way, that this build is kind of at an end. There's not a whole lot more for me to do after this point. It's been quite a journey. It's been quite a process. It's been a ton of work. And I think, yeah, that's it. We're at the finale almost. So anyway, for those of you guys who stayed tuned to the videos since the beginning, you guys are the real MVPs. Thanks a lot. And everybody else who's been following along, hopefully this was insightful. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.